Hi, everybody. How are you? Happy Sunday. I'm doing well. This time next week, we will have lost an hour, so we're going to enjoy this one. Daylight savings times is coming our way. Okay, so we're on month 3. I can't believe we're already on month 3, but we are. Next month, we will do month 4. In addition to next month, we also will be mailing out / picking up our next set of blocks, which is super exciting. That means we're making progress. Block 3 uses the hexamore ruler to cut your shapes, unless you don't have the hexamore, in which case I'll show you some other methods for cutting today. We're using triangles and half hexagons in this unit. So it's easy peasy. Does everybody have their fabric ready? I think some people are already sewing, which is awesome.
I only have my strips cut out.
Got a couple more blocks and I'll be ready.
Perfect. Awesome. I'm going to cut the half hexagon blocks right now so that you all can see that if anybody has any questions. I'm using my 60-degree ruler, but I'm also going to point you towards your direction booklet if you have any questions about using the hexamore, because it's equally as easy. I just don't own that ruler, so I want to show people some options. Okay.
But I read in one of the books that the strips are supposed to be one strip at 3.5, 2.5, and one strip at 3.5. Is that right? Because I didn't do that in 1 and 2.
No. So for block 3, your strips are both 3.5 inches.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think every month we have to reorient ourselves into what we're cutting for that month, because it is going to change. But
Okay.
for this one, and I am using my little pattern booklet. I'll hold it up for everybody. So this is month 3. And so what I'm going by is this little cutting sheet right here.
Okay.
Okay, so using those 2 3.5-inch strips of your fabric, especially for fabrics A and B, it means that you can cut your triangles as well as your half hexagons out of those same sizes.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Of course. I had run out of some fabric, so I have all my triangles cut. So these are the 3 fabrics that you all have in your kit. If you're doing the blue purple, the tealy purple way. Mm-hmm. And so I actually ran out of both my stripe and my hexagon when I was cutting, since this is my second set of blocks. So I'm on my quilt number 2. So I am substituting in this mineral tealy blue fabric, which I thought worked well with these other fabrics. And I got some more stripe, which we have in the shop. So I will point you towards your block of the month, the original booklet, not the finishing one, if anybody has that, although I don't think you do. But so this is a booklet that came with your first packet of fabric and patterns. And so triangles are on page 13 in this little kind of reddy coral color. And then blue is your half hexagons. So if you're using your hexamore ruler, you can look at pages 13 and 15. Okay. And if you are not doing that, I'm using my 60-degree ruler here, and I have my teeny tiny rotary cutter, which I keep in my project bag just for this class. And we want our half hexagons to be cut on the 6.5-inch line. So our triangles we were cutting on a 3.5-inch line, and so this one we're cutting on a 6.5-inch line. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut those. We only need 3 half hexagons. And I think someone else, maybe on the on the Bernina World Nebula Facebook group was mentioning that they had cut their stripes the wrong way. And so we want our stripe, or maybe they just attach them, but we want our stripes going vertically on this, okay? And that will just be a reminder when you go to sew your blocks together that we want to make sure that their orientation is correct. Unless you're making a design choice, which, you know, I'm all about a design choice. So if you decide you want to rotate them in a different direction, I say go for it. It's your quilt, and I want you to love it when it's done. All right, so I'm all ready now. I've got 4 triangles of each of my fabrics. So I've got 4 of each of my triangles. I've got my pom-poms, my tent stripes, and my hexagons. And then I've got 3 of each of my half hexagons. Triangles, half hexagons. And just remember, I am trading out the mineral with the triangles, but I'm going to use both because the triangles are already cut and I love that fabric. It's one of my favorites. So mine's going to be a little bit funkier than yours, but like I said, everybody gets their own design choice. So we are going to start putting these together, and our hexies are fabric A, our stripes are B, and our pom-poms are C. So we're going to use A and B, and we are going to make 1 of each set with their opposite triangles. So I've got an A and a B and a B and an A. I know some of you are already sewing, and I love seeing that. So the one tip on this one is when we're putting together our triangle on top of our half hexagon, we're putting that blunt side of our, you know, our little cut off end of our triangle, we're putting that to the left on that edge to match it up. So we know that that seam right there is correct. And then we have our little dog ear off the end on the right. So on the left-hand side, those match up and are nice and flush across the top, and a little dog ear on the right. And I'm going to do the same thing for my B and A. And I've switched out my thread today, my color. Hold on, let me tell you what I'm using. I'm using the Orfil 6727. It's like a gray taupe. So it's still similar to my gray, which I could not locate this morning. And I have my Microtex 80, which is my go-to needle. And I've got my 37-foot on. And if you're a non-Bernina user, you've got your 1/4-inch foot on. Oh my gosh, it's so smoothly, and the sound is amazing. Got my little units. I'm going to press them, and remember, we're pressing open. Those people who may not have joined us before out in YouTube land, I like to press my seams flat and then press them open. And there's no water in this iron, so I would recommend using a little bit of spray starch. Yeah, we've got some faultless over here. This is hardcore stuff here, people. Grocery store, Target, Walmart, in the laundry section. So I've got 1 unit. Okay. So I've got both those units done. Looking fabulous. So now we're going to start sewing our triangles together. So we're going to have our B and C, which is the 10 stripes and the pom-poms. We're going to make 3 of those. And we're going to do, and I am putting the straight edges together so that our 2 blunt ends are on opposite sides when you open it up. So we're going to make 3 of each, and that is A and C and B and C, and that should use up all of your triangles. You shouldn't have any left after we do this next step. And I'm actually ironing my 2, I'm laying my 2 blocks right sides together and just giving them a little press together, which will help them stick a little bit so I don't have to pin. So we're going to be sewing across that long edge with our tips in the opposite direction. All right, so we're pressing all of, so we should have 6 sets of triangles here. We're going to press those flat, and then we'll press those seams open. Alrighty, I've got all my little units together. So they both have the pom-poms on the bottom, and then 3 of each, my hexies and my 10 stripes on the top. So the next section, to me, I would definitely encourage you to look at your instructions if you're at that point. So we are going to make units using our half, the last 2 of our half hexagons that we have left. So with A, we're going to have B and C connected. And so then we'll be doing the opposite. So with B, we'll have A and C connected. And we're really just making two blocks. And I don't know if any of you were with me last month where we talked about some of these blocks have a seam that goes horizontal to connect 2 halves, where some of them have a diagonal connection. So last month we did a diagonal connection, and this month we're just doing a very simple horizontal connection. So we're going to make 2 of each of these units. And when we line them up, we're going to be lining up the blunt end of one triangle with our half hexagon and then our dog ear on the other side. So you have a 2 great ways to make sure you're all lined up. And we're going to do this exact same thing with our 10 stripes and our unit AC, which the hexagon and the pom-poms. And I'm going to go to my machine and sew these little units up.
As long as you cut the stripes going up and down, you don't have a problem with placement, right?
You shouldn't, although I'm just looking at my the first units we made with the triangle on top of that half hexagon, and can you see where my error is?
Yeah, you did the wrong side.
Right. So I lined it up correctly with the way I cut it.
Like that, right?
With my little blunt end. Hold on, let me see if I can find you. I'm sorry, hold on. Yes, right. So, but I had my blunt end on a different corner. So, as I said, I'm going to do a little unsewing.
Got it.
But, better now than when it's on
It's
the wall.
a block. Yeah, absolutely.
Although I will tell you, ladies, a funny story. So, Stephanie, and I don't know if you know Stephanie Pennington Grant, she works here in the Raleigh Bernina world and is a friend of mine as well. So she is quilting, might I say, stunningly, my full size Nebula quilt. So I get a text the other day and it's a picture of my quilt looking fabulous, I might say, on her long arm. And there's a block that is turned the wrong direction. Not
Oh,
one
gosh.
of these blocks that no one would know about, but one of the background blocks, which I will say the background did almost take me down. And so all I could say to Stephanie was, well, at least we'll know it's mine. Not anybody. So I am moving on. I'm actually skipping step 4 for right now because we have one more unit of these blocks to make. And this is this unit right here, which has a half hexagon and our 2 triangles that we put, you know, kind of butt to butt here. And we're going to mimic that on the other side, things, right?
Right.
So this is the unit that we're going to make, and we're going to make one of each. So I've got A with my C and B, and then I'm going to make one with B and my A and C. Yeah, there we go. All right. Okay, so we should have 3 separate units here. This long piece, our triangle attached to that half hexagon, and then this longer piece right here. So that's our triangle right there. Okay, so we've got 3 different units here. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to attach the top 2 together first, right here, and then we'll add the bottom on third. And after we're done with that, we'll have 2 units, and we're just going to sew them right across the horizontal center of these blocks. Okay.
I'm following the diagram on the page where it had the cutting directions. So I'm
Yes,
following
ma'am.
this one. And there are 6 C's. Oh, I did it. I did that wrong. My fault. I just added, yeah, my fault. That's okay.
You cut some extras?
No, I didn't cut enough.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was saying,
Yeah.
well, wait a minute. There's 6 of those C's in there, and I couldn't get it to go together.
Okay.
Okay. I hope I have enough fabric. Okay.
All right. Well,
Oh,
yeah.
and that one also didn't have any half hexes.
Right. Yes. So C is only triangles.
Okay.
There's no half hexagons.
Yeah. You know, I've had cataracts.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm going like this to read.
Oh, geez.
So
So have you had both eyes done now?
yes.
Okay. Yeah. How's it going?
I can see distant. I can't see close. And
Okay.
these are magnifier readers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go around with little devices like that, which is a magnifier.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
And a magnifier glass, because I can't read. Sometimes I have to put the magnifier glass there to read.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just read the A, and then I assumed everything was going to be the same. So now
Yeah.
there's extra 2.
Okay. All right. Well, you let me know if you run into trouble. Okay.
Okay, so everything is cut at 3.5 inches.
So
width.
just so all your fabrics, you're going to have 3.5 inches. So you're going to have 2 strips of A and B, each A and B, and 1 strip of C.
Okay. And then we're cutting, where'd my rulers go? We're cutting from, I did come in where you said go to page 13.
Yes. Perfect. So on page 13, that's going to give you information on how to cut your triangles from using the hexamore.
Okay.
Okay.
Hexamore. Okay, I got the right one here. Okay. And we're going to the 3.5.
And a half. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be right at the bottom where it
Here.
goes
Down
into a point.
Yeah, down here. Okay, I see.
Yeah. Do you see that? And there
Yeah.
should be a line for 3.5 inches.
Down
Yep.
here. Okay, I see.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. And then the half hex is,
That's on page 15. And you're actually going to be using the top part of that ruler.
and then that's the top part at
Yes,
the
ma'am.
at
Mhm.
this part. At this part. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And that's still at the 3.5. Okay.
Yep.
I just want to make sure I had enough fabric there.
So the half hexagon, you're cutting at the 6.5 inch line.
This part.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
Going to be 3.5 inches tall, but it's going to be 6.5 inches. Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So the 13.
All right, ladies, I'm going to sew my first 2 units together. And then I will say that I don't usually pin, but I pinned in 2 places here. So I pinned at the very left side, so where I'm going to start sewing, and I've matched the edge of my triangle to a dog ear. And then on the other side, I've got the underside triangle is going to create a little dog ear right here. Whereas my stripe, has that blunt edge. And I don't know if I can show you all this. I know I'm not supposed to put pins in my mouth. So I'm actually matching up. You can put a pin straight through the intersection, perpendicular to your fabric. I put it straight through one seam, and in a perfect world, it will come out in the back seam. So there's the back, and here's the front, and then I can take another pin and go ahead and just pin those together. You also can line up, I really wish I could show you this. You can line up this top little dog ear edge with the same, sort of cut off on the other side, and I can see them matching up on this side and on this side. That seam allowance is the same. It's hard to show you, but I promise you that if you looked at your own block, you would see what I'm talking about. So that way you can double check that those intersections are going to meet up perfectly, because we're not perfect. So this is like perfect enough that once this quilt is quilted and on your bed, or you may have given it away, don't know why you would after all this work, that you are never going to notice if these seams don't match up pinpoint. Okay. But if that really matters to you and you really need those seams to match up as closely as humanly possible, those are 2 ways you can check.
When I'm turning my triangles and putting the blunt end in the direction that's on the directions, the stripe changes orientation.
Thank you. That's what I just ran into. So I had to unstitch. So in that case, do not follow the diagram and do what you visually know is correct, which is have those triangles, those stripes going up and down. Okay. Okay, so we just talked not we, I just talked so badly about that one triangle that I redid. Judith, where are you? So that one stripe that we were saying, it's not, it's going off to the side. Do you know why it's going off to the side?
Which one are we talking about?
Remember this unit right here? And we were saying that these stripes were going the wrong direction. They're going the wrong direction because when you put them in
They're supposed to.
in their unit, they would be going up and down like they're supposed to.
Okay. So which one?
So it's this unit right here that we just were talking about. Oh, hold on.
That's the other one.
Oh, here we go. This one. So this triangle unit right here, and these stripes, you were saying if you laid them the way they're supposed to go. Sorry, Jaybird, I talked really bad about you, but you're awesome. So we were saying that these stripes should be going up and down, but really they should be going to the side so that when the unit gets flipped, they're going the right direction.
Okay.
Okay. So
All right.
follow the directions.
Not the teacher.
You are correct.
So the one that's on your right hand, your equilateral. No, your right hand on your equilateral triangle. That's a
Yes.
set that gets sewn together.
Yeah, so that's the one that we were talking about. This triangle right here, saying that the stripe should be going up and down. Right?
Is that a top? I'm trying to visualize where I am in the thing.
So this is step 1, where we're sewing the triangles on top of the half hexagon.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Yep. And remember, see, I had it right in the beginning, ladies. I had it right in the beginning. I am going to put that aside.
I'm gonna.
And
I
gonna-
almost feel like doing basting instead of.
right, exactly. Although when I base things, I still do it on 2.5, so that's no help to me. So now I'm going to sew this final seam of this unit.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So I've got my long piece and I've got my triangle here, and all these stripes are going the right direction. Thank goodness.
Yeah, it forms a circle.
Yeah. So I'm going to sew this one together. I'm going to do a little bit more unsewing because it's clearly my favorite thing today. And then I'll sew my other unit together. Okay.
Yeah. What was wrong is they complicated it by giving us stripes.
You are correct. You know why? The orange block does not have stripes in it.
I should have
So
started
that one will go, that one you really can follow the directions, not the teacher, and it will go together easier. All right. Okay, so I've got one unit done. Yay! And I'm using my favorite seam ripper. I don't know, I may have shown you all this if anybody watched the original video, but this is a Bowen seam ripper. It's like pocket size. I think I own like 5 or 6 of these. They're everywhere in my house because I sew everywhere in my house. But they are like a fold up. They're super sharp, but they just fold into each other, so it's not going to cut through anything in your sewing bag or cut your hand. But this is my favorite little seam ripper. And if they don't already have them at Berdina Worlds, they will soon. I know. So when we put it on, it looks like this.
Yeah.
This is my 3rd time sewing it. So,
Well, I don't know if I want to take it all apart.
well, I was just about to say, if it doesn't bother you,
Yeah.
and you know how big this quilt is going to be, here's the thing though, Jan, you can leave it. And, month 9, if you decide as we start talking about background that you really need to flip it,
Yeah.
you can still do it then. Miss Paula, so it should look like this. It should look wrong to begin with, and then it's going to be correct when it's sewn into its block.
Well,
Okay, Paula, because once I do this,
mm-hmm.
and then this,
Okay.
And then I do that. Now it's going the right direction. Even though as an individual unit, it's not.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Ready? So I'm doing my last seam on my second unit, which is to sew that triangle. That is now correct with my third little unit that we made. So you see now all of our stripes are going where they're supposed to go. Absolutely. All right, I'm making up this last seam on this unit, and then I'm going to put it all together. All right, so we've got our 2 units right here. And so this last seam is going to be a long seam right across the horizontal there. Okay. And everything you've got blunt ends on all four of those corners, so they should match up beautifully. And so then you're just going to be matching up these connections here and here. And these actually match up beautifully because you don't have to look for an intersection. You actually want those seams to lay right on top of each other, and your dog ears should match up as well. Take my time and trim up all my threads, which is probably my weakness, is that I get on a run with sewing and I dislike stopping to trim my threads, but I'm trying. All right, friends, we have a block.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah. And so for anybody working on their orange block, or maybe some of you are doing both, so here are your 2, you got 1 stripe and 1 non-stripe. So month 3, we're getting closer. So ladies, you know how to find me. I do sneak in on Facebook every day and check to see if there are questions or comments, or try to give you guys little hearts because I am so excited to see blocks and what other fun things you're up to. You can always call the shop, and there should be someone here, either in the Wilmington or in the Raleigh shop, that can help you. So some people got the Nebula bag, you know, your project bag, and I did not. And I was having FOMO. Had my fear of missing out. So I made my own.
Oh.
So it's paper piece with Nebula. I've got some Annie Soft and Stable in here. I've got my favorite purple hexagon fabric on the back, and a zipper, of course. And so I'm feeling more like I'm part of the club now.
Oh.
So on that note, thank you all so much for showing up. It really, really starts my week off in a wonderful note, and that's because of all you, and I really appreciate it. So please reach out if you have questions or if you run into any snags. And if not, I'll see you next month. Have a wonderful rest of your day and a great month.
Okay.